You've probably seen in the news recently that the government are planning on relaxing the rules around the use of plug-in solar in the UK. But what exactly is plug-in solar and why is it such a big deal? Well, a traditional solar panel installation, like I've got on my own roof, can cost several £1000s to be installed because you need scaffolding, roofers, electricians and usually a lot of paperwork. Imagine if you could just pop to the supermarket, buy a couple of solar panels for a few £100, plonk them outside on your lawn and plug them straight into a socket in your house. No electrician needed, no scaffolding, no paperwork, all DIY. It sounds too good to be true, but it is coming very soon. Right now though, at the time of recording this, there are quite strict regulations governing what you can and can't sell in the UK to be plugged into a power socket. The UK government has announced that they are working with various parties, including the Energy Networks Association, the DNOs, Ofgem and even Lidl and Amazon as retailers to get wiring regulations updated and a supply chain for products in place. The aim is to allow consumers to buy DIY plug-in solar products of up to 800 watts. This sort of solar installation is massively popular in mainland Europe. Germany especially has seen a huge rise in what they call balcony solar because it's become quite common for those living in apartments to place solar panels out on balconies or hang them on the actual balcony railings themselves. If you don't have your own roof to put a permanent installation on, or maybe you rent or you just can't afford the expense of a larger installation, then plug-in solar could be perfect for you. At a most basic level, you have some solar panels, perhaps 2 or 3, connected in a string back to a micro-inverter. This micro-inverter plugs into a standard 13 amp UK socket. But crucially, this microinverter must not output more than 800 watts or about 3.5 amps. The solar energy generated by your panels can then be used by whatever else is plugged into your household sockets, whether that's your TV, your fridge freezer or your computer. It's free electricity. Now if your panels are generating more energy than your house can use, it will export that back to the grid for other people to use. With a professionally installed solar solution, you can apply for an export meter and get paid for that exported energy. With a DIY solution though, it's currently not clear if you'll be able to do that. I think it's probably a safe assumption that you won't be able to do that, at least not in the short term with a DIY solution. So you'll want to make sure you use as much of that solar generation as possible. You can use things like smart plugs to turn stuff on and off when there's a lot of solar, or you could take things to the next level by adding a battery. There are companies like Anchor and EcoFlow and DJI who all offer plug-in battery solutions. This will bump up the price a lot, but the general idea is that your solar panels can instead plug into the battery on what are called MPPT ports instead of using a microinverter. The battery plugs into your socket and the solar panels power your home in the same way as before. But any excess energy can be soaked up by that battery. Later on, when the solar panels have stopped producing, anything plugged directly into the battery's built-in sockets can use that stored energy. Now with a normal professionally installed home battery, it can supply power to all of the sockets in your house as required. But with a plug-in battery, it's a little bit different. You see, a plug-in battery can't see how much power your home is using, so it can't respond to that demand unless you install an energy monitor. Now this energy monitor will be specific to the battery brand that you purchase, and it will sit in your main fuse board watching how much power your home is using, sending that data to your battery so as it knows how much power to output to minimize how much you are buying from the grid. Because of where this monitor needs to go though, we are now starting to leave the realm of DIY solar, because you most likely will need a professional electrician to install this device for you now. And speaking of professional electricians, one of the main concerns that the industry has over plug-in solar is safety. If you have old wiring in your home, then it could be unsafe to use plug-in solar. It is very low powered with its 800 watt limit, so it's incredibly unlikely to cause a problem, but even so you are best off paying for an inspection of your sockets and wiring first before plugging one of these devices in, just to be on the safe side. There's also a potential incompatibility with some RCDs because they aren't designed to deal with bidirectional current, so they aren't expecting solar power to flow backwards through them. Again, you should get a professional to check and change your RCDs to compatible ones if necessary. Anyway, I'll put some links to some of the most well-known plug-in products down in the description for you to take a look at. I hope this little overview was useful, and I am very much looking forward to seeing what happens in terms of the proposed £400 plug-in solar product from Lidl in the summer. That will be a defining moment for solar in the UK. I do hope to give plug-in solar a go myself too once it's been approved by the government, so make sure you're subscribed to the channel for free so as you don't miss that one. A massive thank you as always to my channel members and patrons listed here for supporting the channel. If you'd like early access to my videos and some bonus content too, then check out the description for information on joining. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.